All right, so I'm here at this house right now. It's a little wet. I've been taping the top of the ceiling and trying to make it flat. But somebody asked me about, he said he had like 3 popcorn ceilings that he had to remove the popcorn ceiling from and finish it, all right? Now, if this was a popcorn ceiling that had never been painted, it was just sprayed popcorn ceiling, and you wanted to remove it, and then make it the ceiling smooth, you were just getting rid of the popcorn, and you didn't want to have to laminate the ceiling, put in all new drywall or anything like that, this is what I would do, okay? I'd get a shop vac that has the big tube like this. I would take my hard blade, this is a really stiff blade for wiping down tape, and it goes onto my sand pole. Watch this, guys. I mean, look at this. So it goes onto my sand pole, right? And, but what I would do, I would then take my pole and I would tape it. I would tape it to, give me a second, it's got to be lined up just right. Duct tape might actually work better than this. This might actually rip a little bit more. Or Gorilla Tape. Gorilla Tape. I like Gorilla Tape. I use Gorilla Tape more than I use duct tape. Okay. Now, look at when I go to scrape, and it just sucks up right into here really easily, guys. It just sucks up all of the scraping, but you're gonna have to wet it first. I would either take a bug sprayer, you know, where you pump it up and you get the pressure in there, just water, and I would spray the ceiling. You're gonna have to cover everything because there's still gonna be a mess. Get those floors covered because it's still gonna be a mess. But get it all wet, let it set for a minute, and it just scrapes right off and vacuums right into here as it's scraping. It works really well. I've done this before. I wish I had an example where I could actually show you, but do this. If you've got just a small blade, a 12-inch knife or a 10-inch knife that you want to stick on here, you can do that too. The reason I like this is why I like this, is because this has got strength and I can scrape hard with this because I've got all of this strength here. If it's just a 12, I'm just using the plastic. But now I've actually got something that I can really scrape hard with if I needed to. And then after it's all scraped off and you've got all of the popcorn scraped down, let it dry thoroughly. Don't do anything anymore right away. Walk away. Get out of there. Let it completely dry. Then I would take my Porta-Cable sander. I would have this all hooked up. I would probably get some like 100 grit paper on here. So I don't know what grit I have on here right now. I usually only put 100 grit on here. No, this is 120. But I would probably put some 100 grit paper on here, or even 120 is fine. And then I would sand it all down. Get it all sanded down. It's dry now. There's no great big clumps of popcorn anymore. Sand it all down and be done with it. Now, they painted it, and they painted the popcorn. You can't do what I'm telling you. None of this can be done. You're either going to live with it or laminate over it. It's going to be really, really hard to get that popcorn off the ceiling when it's under paint. The moisture can't penetrate it. It's going to be really hard to scrape. It's not going to work very well. Truthfully, if they didn't want the popcorn ceiling anymore, and it was okay to laminate the ceiling, I would just put a brand new layer of drywall right over the ceiling if it had been painted. Only if it had been painted. I would put another layer of drywall right over the ceiling and then tape and finish that so they have a nice smooth ceiling. But if it's popcorn and you can wet it and scrape it off, you scrape it off, let it dry, sand the ceiling down, and then you can touch it up. Skim it out, do whatever you want. Again, I had to skim out this entire ceiling. This entire ceiling was really, really rough. You can see how smooth it is now, but come in here. That's how rough it was. That's how rough it was. And it's nothing even close to that right now. But this was a popcorn ceiling that was scraped down and then left like that and then painted. That's all they did. They didn't really sand this. And had they sanded this with a power sander, this would have been really smooth. It would have been really nice. So, all right, that's all you got. You have a great day. Hey, if you really like this video, subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, share it with somebody else. You have a great day.